Hi guys, welcome to my movie fan channel. My name's Tyler. Today's retro review is going to be for Friday the 13th, the original. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below, hit the like button, and hit subscribe, and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts when I post a new video. And share this video around to all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social medias. That way they get to discover us and have a voice in the film fan community. Right from the beginning of this movie, there's a guy that hey, people in town are like, hey, Jimmy, what's up? And they're talking to the guy. So you're like, I guess he's a good dude. But he picks the girl up and takes her to town. And you're like, she's going to get in the car with this guy. She's hitchhiking and stuff. And it's like, eh. And he makes this weird comment. He's like, yeah, are all the girls up there as cute as you are? And you're like, oh my God, you're really going to drive with this guy? And horror movies do that a lot of times. It's like, oh, it's scary to be a molester. And it's like, yeah, no shit. And she's going to get in the car with him. She climbs up into his truck and he grabs her by the butt and pushes her in. And you're like, what a dirty old man. A lot of horror movies do the trope of where the camp counselors are stupid, and they're not necessarily really dumb in this one to an aggravating level. Sure, they could do some things better, smarter, and not burn out to see, hey, what's that? Oh, there's a bloody axe. Let's keep looking around. You know what I mean? There's points like that, but it wasn't overtly come on, man, that's dumb. Plus, I didn't even think they were likable. Not disliking the characters, but at least being able to root for them is always something that I look for in my horror movies, where you're like, yeah, let's go. Happy Death Day had that recently, and the sequel was okay, you want Jessica Raw's character to yeah, go get him, or run, or you're cheering for him. And Friday the 13th, I never really got that vibe. I'm just kind of all right, these guys are getting picked off. It's cool to see Kevin Bacon so young, and he's running around like a Speedo, and when the guy pretends to drown, that scene's funny. He's running up to the dock, and they all kind of scramble out of the boat, and he's just I'm just messing with you. But the best part about the original Friday the 13th is the reveal at the end with Mrs. Voorhees as the killer, and she's pissed that her son Jason died. The counselors watches, and they're just kind of screwing around and banging each other when her kid was out drowning in the lake. There's just a tiny 2-minute scene of where she tells that story and she's talking to herself. That makes the whole movie. You're like, okay, that's the reason why this is happening. This is what would drive this lady to do that. It's all the explanation that you need in that exposition. And I think that's great. That's a scene that makes that movie instantly classic. And then what spawns off into a crazy franchise is the scene where they show Jason drowning in the lake, and then they have him pop up from the water at the end. They're like, is that real? And then when they go back to the lake, there's the little bubbles. And that kind of leaves the door open for potential sequels, which we know this franchise has a ton of. This is one of the movies that I will stop and watch on Halloween when it's on TV. I don't have cable anymore, so it's kind of streaming, so I would have to seek it out. It's not one of my favorite of the classic horror movies. I like Nightmare on Elm Street a little bit better. I like Halloween a lot more, which we will be reviewing. But it is an iconic horror movie with some great scenes, like I said, some great slasher moments, and a lot of the movies really took from this initial film. It inspired a lot of the great horror movies that we see nowadays, like Scream, like Happy Death Day that I mentioned earlier. So for that alone, I recommend that you see this film at least once in your life. I would watch it around Halloween, watch it with the lights off, get a little spooky, and have fun with it. So that's my review for Friday the 13th, guys. I will see you in the next video.